right now. Like an hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes tops. I have to take the neighbor's doggos for a walko. And make yourself cozy, baby. Let me clean that up for you. A little bit of packing material there. I worked on one of my commissions today. As you can see, I've got paint on my hands, so yeah. How are you doing? How are you doing? How are you doing? No one's here yet. I think we should read a little bit of that book starting out because we're going to have a relatively short live stream right now. I have to take the neighbor's dogs for a walk. How's everyone doing? Hi, Barry. Thank you. Hi, Scott. Hi, Eric. How's everyone? How's everyone today? Brothers visiting. Gotta take the doggos for a walk, or yeah, the neighbor's doggos. Um, Actually really glad that my brother's here right now because Shando loves visitors. So that'll keep him happy and preoccupied, hopefully, while I take the neighbor's dogs for a walk. I always feel so eager to get home to my dog because he's jealous. Hey, I'm doing good. I was just working on a commission. My hands are covered in paint, as you can probably see. Let me see if I can improve that lighting there. Yeah, there. Golden blue. But I thought we should start out. How's the connection, by the way? We should start out reading this book that we've been reading, and yeah, and then end it from there. So I have to do that. I almost forgot. My dad reminded me. He saw Shando and it reminded him that I have to walk the neighbor's dogs. And sheesh, I thought it was like I did have a therapist appointment today, which should have reminded me that it's Monday, but yeah, I'm too preoccupied working on that painting. I just forgot about everything else. So I'm so glad he reminded me, dude. I'd feel so bad if I missed that. It is the last week. It is the final week of my walking the neighbor's dog, so that's cool. Hope she gives me more gigs because that's it's a nice way for me to make money on the side. I'm back. Yes. Yes. So, yeah, today's just been kind of hectic, kind of busy. Hello. How's everyone? Hi, Shaggy. Hi, Harbonip. Hi, Darth. How old am I? Hey, Mac. I'm 35. 35. Born in 91. Early 91. Practically 90. I'm good. I remind you of Elliot. I don't know who Elliot is. Hey, thank you, Scott. I wish it would have stayed in 95. That was a good year. Yeah, things were more simple. Or at least, I mean, easy. I played outside as a kid, rollerbladed, played Nintendo 64. Hello, do you speak English? At least a little bit? What are you talking about? I'm speaking English right now, you jerk. Are you single? Well, that's not what we're here to discuss on my channel. I'm not here to look for a date and kind of, yeah. I'm sorry, Raph, that doesn't seem appropriate. And nor does it seem safe. Not that, like, I mean, I just don't know you, man. It's no offense. No offense whatsoever. I just, yeah, as you can, might understand, that doesn't seem safe to me at all. Just going anywhere, traveling places with people I don't know. No, you're good. Yeah. People have asked me questions like that, and I have to say no. I'm sorry. Hmm. Okay. You guys see the alien stuff on Friday? No, I haven't actually. I forgot to look into that. I've been really quite busy, so a little overwhelmed. I'm really trying to make the background of this one painting work. Make it. I'm trying to make it cohesive. Dynamic, and working with the foreground. It's difficult. This particular one. It's not a concept I'm used to in painting. I'm used to landscapes, portraits of people and animals. This is a little complicated for me, but I'm getting there. Mm. Well. Shall we read this book, guys? Because we really don't have much time right now. It's The Power of Positive Thinking. I think we will. I think we will. Uh, yeah, well, actually, speaking of which, if you'd like to join my Discord server, you can. I can contact people via Discord or Instagram. I'm working on 3 commissions now. I just got a new commission. I'm going to be painting Winston Churchill, a portrait of a Winston Churchill. Oh, so it's going to be fun. That's my specialty right there, painting portraits. And also, I like landscape. I like doing landscapes. Organic subjects. I'm a little shaky today. I think I had too much coffee. Oof. And I'm nervous. But yeah, let me. Hmm, I guess some people left. That's okay. I'm gonna working on this commission while that oil painting I think might be dry. I might be able to work on that one too right after I'm done working on this one, and then while the third layer dries, I can get started on Winston Churchill. So that's kind of how I'm trying to structure it, so that so that everything is done within a reasonable time frame. Here we go. So let's see. Thanks for coming to my channel, guys. How's everybody doing? Uh-oh. Okay. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, can I come in?
Yeah, just so you know, I'm live streaming.
Okay, that's fine. I just want to measure something.
Okay. Ah, what are you trying to measure?
Just want to know how wide this bed is.
Okay, let me help.
Yeah, I can't see.
Yeah, we have no light here, by the way.
Burn out or what?
It's just busted.
Oh, that's right. You said 12.
It's to be 42 inches.
42.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Cool beans. Okay, let's see here. Shando. The dog. Okay, and my Instagram. You can see a lot of my art on my Instagram. Okay, so it's Anna.Katrina.art in my Discord. Also, guys, I've got a really bad attention deficit. I tend to go straight to the general server, and then I forget to check all the other notifications I have from other people. And I am really getting on top of that now. I'm really doing my best to be on top of that and not miss out on what other people ask me, and just messages that people send me. Makes me feel really bad, actually. Okay, emerald underscore wing underscore 13473, and I'll pin that. Okay, now let's start on this book. Yeah. Hey, I'm doing good. Hey, Scott. Yeah, I mean, I've shared my Discord and my Instagram in the chat here. It's pinned. And Discord would be a great place for that. That's where we, share videos, talk, shenanigans, and all that jazz. Don't forget to stretch. Yeah, good idea. Good idea. My baby boy, look at him. He's tired. He tired. Sorry, guys. Very poor lighting in here. Here we go. Honey bears. He's a teddy bears. Sweetheart. I used to have a guitar. It got stolen from me, actually. I brought it to the cafe where I work. Someone I knew, they were gonna teach me how to play, and I kept it in the stock room. We had a basement. We'd go downstairs to the basement, and then that would lead into a stock room where we, keep our supplies. And I hid my guitar in there because, yeah, I wanted to learn how to play. My friend was going to teach me, and it got stolen. It got stolen, and that sucks. It was a Fender. It was an acoustic too. Yo, bust a freestyle for the chat real quick. It'd be dope. If I do it, I don't know if I can do that. I I don't think I could rap to save my life. Yo, my breaking habits gang. 3.3 months clean from opiates. Just thought I'd pop in to say hi and learn guitar. Okay, thank you. That congratulations, man. That's a big deal. Yep, we're here to show people that we do recover, that the common trope of once a junkie, always a junkie doesn't ring true for everybody. Most people relapsed at least once or twice or three times. For me, it was at least three times. Um, but when I sought professional treatment, there was only one time when I failed that and relapsed. And then I got right back up a year later and commenced my efforts to recover, sought professional treatment. And that really worked for me because I had a really good counselor, a really good support system. And I'm very grateful for that. What do I think about hypnosis? I don't think much about it, to be honest. Um, okay. I figured out how to stay stopped off of alcohol, and okay. You figured out how to stay away from alcohol and drugs. Well, good for you, Hollywoodland. Con- That's what I want to hear. We need more people like that on my stream, proving to everybody that we do improve, we do recover, and we do find um, a renewed sense of joy in life. Our brains are able to revert back to regular regular levels of dopamine. We're not effed. We're not screwed for life. And people who think that we are screwed for life, they're the types of people who think that they look at a before and after mug shot of someone looking like they go from looking like a normal-ish person to looking like they've aged 50 years, like, and some like worse. That's meth. That's not heroin, that's meth. But yeah, my someone I knew who really helped me out, and they've been clean for 20 years. They were addicted to meth, and even Keith Richards wouldn't touch that. That's the People don't tweak on heroin, they do on meth. People seem to fail to understand the difference between those drugs. Like there's a difference between those drugs and how they affect people. I've never touched meth, but it does. It really wreaks havoc on your appearance and your brain and everything else. But I know someone who was on it for many years and they look great now. So it's not hopeless. You can recover from that, from something as terrible as that too. I'm working on this now. It's terrifying. I'm trying. Not those drugs in particular, but I've relied on outside substances for so long and I'm afraid of life without any crutch. Oh, I get it. I totally get it, man. It's scary. But I guess your whole system has to adjust. Usually it takes like a month or more to fully adjust for your brain to revert back to normal levels chemically. That's why we call them meth monsters when they're using, yeah. Like I told this story about this one time when I was walking home to my apartment, um, and some tweaker, someone on meth, was just flailing their arms walking ahead of me. They're just like walking on the same sidewalk as me. Only other person on the street, across the street, was some woman, just no normal person. And I'm just like keeping my distance. They're walking right past my apartment, and I'm about to go into my apartment, right? And we're just like kind of a couple blocks away. And then suddenly, as he's flailing his arms around, a, a big burst of money comes like flying out, like 300 bucks, like like fresh crisp freaking bills, clean, completely clean, not a crumpled one in sight. And I'm just like frozen there thinking, okay, do I give him the money? I'm having a moral freaking dilemma. I'm like, do I give him the money? Do I just take it? What do I do? And then the lady across the street comes around. She just like instantly comes over and just start taking all the money for herself. I'm like, I come up to her. I'm like, are you gonna take all that? She's just like, oh no, you can have some. She gave me at least a third of it. I got 75 bucks out of it, which, but yeah, that was weird. That was weird. For that to happen in that time and place, man, when I really needed that money too. Intense solar energy, separation of soul and body, even separation through many phases, such as tree animals, are due to mutatio, huh? I just followed you on Instagram, diary mate. Thank you, Scott. Awesome. It is equal to the number of children born according to the number of creation. Okay, wait. Everyone has a place to live as a result of their deaths. There's a sound on every. Okay. Why am I getting so many weird comments here? I have 500 euros. Give me your private. What? Come on, man. What do you? I don't know. Have no idea what you're asking me. And I'm in long term recovery and appreciate being able to spend some time listening to your channel. Well, thank you, Paul, and you're more than welcome here. Thank you for the gift, Sleek. I appreciate it. Yes, I'm American. I am from America. Thank you, Truth. Hey, if you're still here, you have a good day. Thank you, Hollywoodland. Yes, please subscribe, everyone. It's very much appreciated. Like, yeah, I would love to gain better momentum with this channel. And trying to revise a better schedule here so that I'm able to do this more often at a time when my audience is usually more active. YouTube said I have. Oh, I love the laughing disco ball. Thank you. YouTube said I have to get rid of jewels they gave me. Huh. I don't know what that means, but do you want them? Um, yeah, I don't know what that means either, to be honest. Hmm. I'll look into it. Just YouTube jewels. Ah, I have no idea, man. Shall we read this book, though? Yes, we shall. We read the introduction the other day. One second, one second. Mhm. What you got? Ugh. Sorry, guys. I need to take my medication. Oh, no. I know you're good. Okay. The power of positive thinking. Did I see Bad Matt Dark Knight movie? Batman, you mean? Yeah. The one with Heath Ledger, yep. My favorite superhero movie, my favorite Marvel movie in particular, uh, has always been Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire, the first one. And the second one's really good too, dude. In fact, I maybe the second one's better. And I also like Iron Man, the first one. I never saw the event the Avengers. I don't think I have seen the Avengers. Or at least the last one where they all die. Hmm. Send things like, oh, I see. They're a little off the wall, aren't they? Well, I'm just gonna commence this then, okay? Or start it, I should say. Excuse me. The first chapter, God, it's hot today. It's like 80 degrees. The first chapter is believe in yourself. Okay. Believe in yourself. Have faith in your abilities. Without a humble but reasonable confidence in your own powers, you cannot be successful or happy. But with sound confidence, you can succeed. A sense of inferiority and inadequacy interferes with the attainment of your hopes, but self confidence leads to self realization and successful achievement. Because of the thank you for the disco ball, Robert. Thank you. Um, because of the import, let's start over here. A sense of inferiority and inadequacy interferes with the attainment of your hopes, but self confidence leads to self realization and successful achievement. Thank you for all the gifts, guys. I appreciate it. That's a cute turtle. Because of the importance of this mental attitude, this book will help you believe in yourself and realize your inner powers. It is appalling to realize the number of pathetic people who are hampered and made miserable by the malady popularly called the inferiority complex. But you need not suffer with this trouble. When proper steps are taken, it can be overcome. You can develop creative faith in yourself faith that is justified. After speaking to a convention of businessmen in a city auditorium, I was on the stage greeting people when a man approached me with a peculiar intensity of manner and asked, "May I talk with you about a matter of desperate importance to me?" I asked him to remain until the others had gone. Then we went backstage and sat down. "I'm in this town to handle the most important business deal of my life," he explained. "If I succeed, it means everything to me. If I fail, I'm done for." I suggested that he should relax a little, that nothing was quite that final. If he succeeded, that was fine. If he didn't, well, tomorrow is another day. "I have a terrible disbelief in myself," he said dejectedly. "I have no confidence. I just don't believe I can put it over. I am very discouraged and depressed. In fact," he lamented, "I'm just about to sink. Here I am, 40 years old. Why is it that all my life I have been tormented by inferiority feelings, by lack of confidence, by self doubt? I listened to your speech tonight in which you talked about the power of positive thinking, and I want to ask how I can get some faith in myself." "There are two steps to take," I replied. "First, it is important to discover why you have these feelings of no power. That requires analysis and will take time. We must approach the maladies of our emotional life as a physician probes to find something wrong physically. This cannot be done immediately, certainly not in our brief interview tonight, and it may require treatment to reach a permanent solution. But to pull you through this immediate problem, I shall give you a formula which will work if you use it. As you walk down the street tonight, I suggest that you repeat certain words that I shall give you. Say them over several times after you get into bed. When you awaken tomorrow, repeat them 3 times before arising. On the way to your important appointment, say them 3 additional times. Do this with an attitude of faith, and you will receive sufficient strength and ability to deal with this problem. Later, if you wish, we can go into an analysis of your basic problem, but whatever we come up with following that study, the formula which I am now going to give you can be a large factor in the eventual cure. Following is the affirmation which I gave him: "I can do all things through Christ which strengtheneth me." Philippians chapter 4 verse 13. He was unfamiliar with these words, so I wrote them on a card and had him read them over 3 times aloud. "Now, follow that prescription, and I am sure things will come out all right." He pulled himself up, stood quietly for a moment, and then said, with considerable feeling, "Okay, doctor, okay." I watched him square his shoulders and walk out into the night. He seemed a pathetic figure, and yet the way he carried himself as he disappeared showed that faith was already at work in his mind. Subsequently, he reported that this simple formula did wonders for him, and added, "It seems incredible that a few words from the Bible could do so much for a person." This man later had a study made of the reason for his inferiority attitudes. They were cleared away by scientific counseling and by the application of religious faith. He was taught how to have faith, was given certain specific instructions to follow. These are given later in this chapter. Gradually, he attained a strong, steady, reasonable confidence. He never ceases to express amazement at the way in which things now flow toward rather than away from him. His personality was taken on a his personality has taken on a positive, not negative, character so that he no longer repels success, but on the contrary, draws it to him. He now has an authentic confidence in his powers, in his own powers. There are various causes of inferiority feelings, and not a few stem from childhood. An executive consulted me about a young man whom he wished to advance in his company. But, he explained, he cannot be trusted with important secret information, and I'm sorry, but otherwise I would make him my administrative assistant. He has all the other necessary qualifications, but he talks too much, and without meaning to do so, divulges matters of a private and important nature. Upon analysis, I found that he talked too much simply because of an inferiority feeling. To compensate for it, he succumbed to the temptation of parading his knowledge. He associated with men who were rather well to do, all of whom had attended college and belonged to a fraternity. But this boy was reared in poverty, had not been had not been a college man or a fraternity member. Thus he felt himself inferior to his associates in education and social background. To build himself up with his associates and to enhance his self esteem, his subconscious mind, which always seeks to provide a sorry, compens- compensatory mechanism, supplied him with a means for raising his ego. He was on the inside of in the ind- on the inside in the industry and accompanied his superior to conferences where he met outstanding men and listened to important private conversations. He reported just enough of his inside information to cause his associates to regard him with admiration and envy. This served to elevate his self esteem and satisfy his desire for recognition. When the employer became aware of the cause of this personality trait, being a kindly and understanding man, he pointed out to the young man the opportunities in business to which his abilities could lead him. He also described how his inferiority feelings caused his unreliability in confidential matters. This self knowledge, together with a sincere practicing of the techniques of faith and prayer, made him a valuable asset to his company. His real powers were released. I can perhaps illustrate the manner in which many youngsters acquire an inferiority complex through the use of a personal reference. As a small boy, I was painfully thin. I had lots of energy, was on a track team, and was healthy and hard as nails, but thin. And that bothered me because I didn't want to be thin. I wanted to be fat. I was called skinny, but I didn't want to be called skinny. I wanted to be called fat. I longed to be hard boiled and tough and fat. I did everything to get fat. I drank cod liver oil, consumed cod liver oil is really good for you, by the way. Consumed vast numbers of milkshakes. Yeah, they'll do it. Ate thousands of chocolate sundaes. Ooh. With whipped cream and nuts and cakes and pies. Innumerable. But they did not affect me in the slightest. I stayed thin and lay awake nights, thinking and agonizing about it. I kept on trying to get heavy until I was about 30, when all of a sudden, did I get heavy? I bulged at the seams. Then I became self conscious because I was so fat, and finally had to take off 40 pounds with equal agony to get myself down to a respectable size. In the second place, to conclude this personal analysis, which I give only because it may help others by showing how this malady works, I was a minister's son and was constantly reminded of that fact. Everybody else could do everything, but if I did even the slightest little thing, you are a preacher's son. So I didn't want to be a preacher's son. For preacher's sons are supposed to be nice and namby-pamby. I wanted to be known as a hard boiled fellow. Perhaps that is why preachers' sons get their reputation for being a little difficult, because they rebel against having to carry the banner of the church all the time. Yeah, you hear that about a lot of Catholic kids too. More rebellious, oftentimes, like, kids from Catholic schools and such. I get it. I vowed there was one thing would never do, and that was to become a preacher. Also, I came of a family practically every member of which was a performer in public, a platform speaker, and that was the last thing I wanted to be. They used to make me get up in public to make speeches when it scared me to death, even filled me with terror. That was years ago. But the twinge of it comes to me every now and then when I walk onto platform. I had to use every known device to develop confidence in what powers the good Lord gave me. I found the solution of this problem in the simple techniques of faith taught in the Bible. These principles are scientific and sound and can heal any personality of the pain of inferiority feelings. Their use can enable the sufferer to find and release the powers which have been inhibited by a feeling of inadequacy. Such are some of the sources of the inferiority complex which erect power barriers in our personalities. It is some emotional violence done to us in childhood, or the consequences of certain circumstances, or something we did to ourselves. This malady arises out of the misty past and the dim recesses of our personalities. Perhaps you had an older brother who was a brilliant student. He got A's in school. You made only C's, and you never heard the last of it. hmm So you believe that you could never succeed in life as he could. He got A's and you got C's. So you reasoned that you were consigned to getting C's all your life. Apparently, you never realized that some of those who failed to get high grades in school have been the greatest successes outside of school. Just because somebody gets an A in college doesn't make him the greatest man in the United States because maybe his A's will stop. Maybe, okay, that's a weird typo. Because maybe his A's will stop when he gets his diploma, and the fellow who got C's in school will go on later to get the real A's in life. The greatest secret for eliminating the inferiority complex, which is another term for deep and profound self doubt, is to fill your mind to overflowing with faith. Develop a tremendous faith in God that will give you a humble yet soundly realistic faith in yourself. The acquiring of dynamic faith is accomplished by prayer, lots of prayer, by reading and mentally absorbing the Bible, and by practicing its faith techniques. In another chapter, I will deal with specific formulas of prayer, but I want to point out here that the type of prayer that produces the quality of faith required to eliminate inferiority is of a particular nature. Surface skimming, formalistic, and perfunctory prayer is not sufficiently powerful. A wonderful color woman, a cook in the home of friends of mine in Texas, was asked how she so completely mastered her troubles. She answered that ordinary problems could be met by ordinary prayers, but that when a big trouble comes along, you have to pray deep prayers. One of my most inspiring friends was the late Harlow B. Andrews of Syracuse, New York. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, Syracuse, New York. One of the best businessmen and competent spiritual experts I ever knew. He said the trouble with most prayers is that they aren't big enough. To get anywhere with faith, said he, learn to pray big prayers. God will rate you according to the size of your prayers. Doubtless he was right, For the scriptures say, according to your faith be it unto you. Matthew chapter 9, verse 29. So the bigger your problem is, the bigger your prayer should be. Roland Hayes, the singer, quoted his grandfather to me, a man whose education was not equal to that of his grandson, but whose native wisdom was obviously sound. He said, the trouble with lots of prayers is that they aren't is they aren't got any suction. That's gosh. This book has a lot of typos, man. Okay, the trouble with lots of prayers is they aren't got any suction. Okay. Drive your prayers deep into your doubts, fears, and inferiorities. Pray deep, big prayers that have plenty of suction, and you will come up with powerful and vital faith. Go to a competent spiritual advisor and let him teach you how to have faith. The ability to possess and utilize faith and gain the release of powers it provides are skills, and, like any skills, must be studied and practiced to gain perfection. At the conclusion of this chapter, we are listed 10 suggestions for overcoming your inferiority pattern and for developing faith. Practice these rules diligently, and they will aid you in developing confidence in yourself by dissipating your feelings of inferiority, however deeply embedded. At this point, however, I wish to indicate sorry. How at this point, however, I wish to indicate that to build up feelings of self confidence, the practice of suggesting confidence concepts to your mind is very effective. If your mind is obsessed by thoughts of insecurity and inadequacy, it is, of course, due to the fact that such ideas have dominated your thinking over a long period of time. Another and more positive pattern of ideas must be given the mind, and that is accomplished by repetitive suggestion or confidence ideas. In the busy activities of daily existence, thought disciplining is required if you are to re-educate yourself the mind and make of it a power producing plant. It is possible, even in the midst of your daily work, to drive confident thoughts into consequences. Let me tell you about one man who did so by the use of a unique method. Oh, thanks, guys. One icy winter morning, he called from. Okay, let's check in the time. One icy winter morning, he called for me at a hotel in a Midwestern city to take me about 35 miles to another town to fill a lecture engagement. We got into his car and started off at a rather high rate of speed on the slippery road. He was going a little faster than I thought reasonable, and I reminded him that we had plenty of time and suggested that we take it easy. Don't let my driving worry you, he replied. I used to be filled with all kinds of insecurities myself, but I got over them. I was afraid of everything. I feared an automobile trip or an airplane flight, and if any of my family went away, I worried about when they returned, or I worried until they returned. I always went around with a feeling that something was going to happen. Oh, dear Lord, likewise. And it made my life miserable. I was saturated with inferiority and lacked confidence. This state of mind reflected itself in my business, and I wasn't doing very well. But I hit upon a wonderful plan which knocked all these insecurity feelings out of my mind. And now I live with a feeling of confidence, not only in myself, but in life generally. This was the wonderful plan. He pointed to two clips fastened on the instrument panel of the car just below the windshield and reached into the glove compartment, took out a pack of small cards. He selected one and slipped it beneath the clip. It read, if ye have faith, nothing shall be impossible unto you. Matthew chapter 17, verse 20. He removed that one, shuffled expertly through the cards with one hand as he drove, selected another and placed it under the clip. This one read, "If God be for us, who can be against us?" Romans chapter 8, verse 31. "I'm a traveling salesman," he explained, "and I drive around all day calling on my customers. I have discovered that while a man drives, he thinks all kinds of thoughts. If his pattern of thought is negative, he will think many negative thoughts during the day, and that, of course, is bad for him. But that is the way I used to be. I used to drive around all day between calls, drinking fear and defeat thoughts. And incidentally, that is one reason my sales were down." That makes a lot of sense, man. Like, it, starting out these live streams, when I started out, I had so much confidence, but it slowly began to dwindle. That could be one reason why um my I guess my engagement, my subscriber count has reduced significantly. I don't think I've lost subscribers so much as I'm not making as much after every stream, because you see, in February it was very common for me to make like 100 subscribers after a live stream, just almost every day. And then like between, I would say between 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Now it's been more. Actually, yesterday I made 80, which I'm very grateful for. Um, but March, April, especially April, uh, I've been, it's like 15 after every live stream, 15, between 50 and 30 new subscribers after a live stream. And that's probably because I'm doing less and I'm just not, I wasn't feeling it as much. Yeah, well, we need to tell the truth. Screw the media. Screw the lying media. It's my opinion. We need to spread the truth and fight against all those lies that they tell about people. Anyway, I think I'll continue this later simply because having a hard time reading out loud. Not used to reading out loud that much. I like to read silently, to be honest, but um, I'm enjoying reading this with you guys. It's a little section at a time here. Mm, very nice and thought provoking. But yeah, that's a good place. Yeah, a little bit, Jack. Yeah, little bit, little bit. That's personal stuff, though. I don't wish to really discuss it. Um, that does not, just because it's like, Mother's Day does not reduce or eliminate the fact that she's a histrionic narcissist who lies about me and other people. And if it's not all about her, she'll ruin your special day. Any ounce of success one of her kids achieves has to be 100% attributed to her, and if they thank anybody else, she gets jealous. I'm not the only graduation she's wrecked. But yeah, I don't really wish to talk about that very much. I had struggles as well, but things are better now. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad things are better for you, man. Do I live with roommates? No. 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 I live with my dad, and I help him out. My dad and my some of my siblings. Some of my siblings still live here too. Yeah. Yeah, I get it. I'm sure some of you guys might be able to relate to that. But yeah, it's like I find mothers who try to compete with their daughters super, super weird. Super, just very unnerving. How old am I? I'm 35. I'm 35. And, I mean, my therapist isn't wrong. It is hard to find a job these days. My sister, who doesn't live here, she's trying to find a second job because she can't afford to take care of her two kids with just one job. It's just ridiculous. What was my drug of choice, Rick? Oh, I know YouTube's gonna turn this into a live highlight, but I was addicted to heroin for 3 years. No, sorry, 6 years. And I've been clean for 3 years and 3 months. I've I've been clean since February 28th, 2023. Hi, KT. Sure, Jack Skellington, I'll make you a mod. I'll make you a mod. There you go. But yeah, let's not go crazy about it, okay? I do need more engagement. You're most welcome. I have quite a few mods right now, so it can get a little crazy sometimes. I do appreciate the not allowing too much hate to come through. People like to misconstrue my words like crazy, by the way. They think I'm the hater just because I'm conservative, just because I voted for Trump, because they listen to media lies, and the things that people on their side say about us, when in fact it's more prevalent on their side. The hateful rhetoric, the violence, the you know ill intent. I don't know what I said to really offend people that much, but maybe I do, maybe I don't. It's kind of, mm, could be anything, really, a number of things, any number of things that they choose to misconstrue. Trump did make this country safer, but I hate what's going on in Iran. Well, they have a very tyrannical, death to America approach to living, and he's not blowing up citizens the way Obama was and other presidents before him. He's making sure that Iran doesn't have any nuclear weapons, and or they're not sneaking spies into our water, onto our side of the globe, like into our waters. It's a tactful way to ensure that we're safe from a regime that repeats again and again deaths to America, and who treats their women like worse than flies, man. Um, yeah, I think a lot of people are misunderstand what's going on there, because a lot of people on the left are repeating again and again, oh, he's destroying their civilization, which, he said a whole civilization will die tonight, but he never destroyed their civilization. You have to understand that there is a diplomatic plan at hand. There's an end result that he's trying to achieve as someone who conducts business and is very good at it. Sorry that my phone cut off. Do you work? Yeah, I mean, I work. I'm working on three painting commissions right now. I just got a new one, which I will begin as soon as I'm done with this one right here. And then I'll work on that one while I'm working on the oil painting, because that's one that has there are periods of time I have to wait for that paint to dry. And then while that's drying, the third layer, I can work on the other watercolor. But I'm working on three paintings. I worked on one today. I got paint on on my arms a little bit. Just and I do this. I try to inspire people with addictions to kick that monkey off their back and to never lose hope. Um, and we just talk about regular things like, just normal stuff like video games, my dog, books, read the Bible sometimes, or this book, or any book that I feel like sharing. So, yeah, thank you, Jack. I appreciate it, man. Thank you for subscribing. Dude, I'm getting hungry, but I have to also walk the neighbor's dog in like an hour. Oh, snap. What's up? I just heard my brother say, what's up? Thank you, Rick. I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, the, it's like they tell me, I'm like, they call me names and tell me I'm full of hate. I haven't said one hateful thing towards people at all. People ask me, "Are you against the LGBT community?" I say, "Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I love I love LGBT people. I love trans people, you know, but there are things within the general community that don't rest well with me and a lot of people on their own side. I'll just tell you who I agree with, okay? Because that's a lot to get into. But I agree with Blair White and most of the things she says. I agree with Nick Shirley. I agree with hmm, I agree with Buck Angel. Buck Angel and Blair White are both trans. I really respect them and agree with just about, well, most of what they say. I haven't heard one thing that I disagree with. And yeah, I just don't know why. I mean, I'm thinking to myself, it's super unnerving, all the hate coming my way and knowing that it's probably only going to get worse simply because I'm conservative or lean conservative. People see things in an all or nothing mentality. They think, like it's either this or that, black and white. There's no gray area. You're either radical this or radical that, you know? They're radical. They're coming to my DMs and saying like telling me that I'm neglecting and abusing my dog, which is clearly not true. Uh Telling me, "Oh, heroin will always be waiting for you." And they're not the only ones. Some will even go to one of my public videos and leave a comment, saying that, oh, she's this and that. And I guess it's kind of par for the course. The bigger your channel gets, the more this my content's gonna reach other people outside of those who typically agree with me. And just imagine how much like Blair White gets simply because she's telling the truth, you know? Imagine it just, I mean, I haven't really gotten a death threat yet, but that's something I have to kind of expect because people are really, really, really hostile to people who think who are conservative, who think logically, man. I mean, people will probably send me death threats eventually for saying that I'm pro-life. A lot of people are really nasty towards me for being pro-life. Really, really nasty to me for being pro-life, which I think is just kind of demonic, if you ask me. Thanks, guys. Just ignore all the BS. You're doing a good job. You're a great role model. Thank you. Thank you, Mike. They still think Trump said neo-Nazis are very fine people. I know, right? I know. I've said the same thing as him, but of course, like, there are good and bad people on both sides. There are good conservatives, bad conservatives. There are good liberals and bad liberals. He called out his own side. I mean, there's good and bad people all around. That's basically what he said. But of course, they want to twist that. course they want to twist that. Of course, because it fits in with their narrative of him being the new Hitler. It yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, it's been debunked. You can watch the whole clip, get all the context. But no, 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 no. They believe in whatever CNN or whatnot clips together to make it seem like he's this or that, whatever they want him to be. No, they want him to be that way. And then they want for us to have communism. Have you seen how miserable the general population of Cuba is? Have you seen how much they're suffering? They don't have light. They don't have eggs. Their cars date back to the 50s. They haven't advanced beyond the 50s. And then you go over to where the elites are, and it's like night and day. You go over to the elites are, they have all their resources, everything like eggs, light, riches galore. You don't have free speech. And that's exactly what the far left wants with to happen to America. They're trying to make it happen to New York, California, Minnesota. Yeah, did you see that one video where Nick Shirley went to Cuba and he almost got kidnapped by the authorities there. Yeah, they were all waiting down in his just because he's interviewing people, just because he's filming and interviewing people. Some Karen, probably part of that whole regime, she's recording them. And then she goes and tattles on them to the authorities. And then they have all these spies down in the hotel lobby waiting for them. Like Nick Shirley, he had to escape. He had to leave early. He had to jump. And by the grace of God, I mean, I think this was an act of God. There was just one taxi that they happened to bump into in the dead of night. And this guy was so like didn't ask any questions, just picked them up and took them to the airport. Like how based? How based, dude? Like you could like these people are risking their freaking lives to for freedom of speech. Nick Shirley's amazing, man. He's got balls. He's got courage. We need to look up to Nick Shirley. We need to protect Nick Shirley. I never said everything was an act of God. That's stupid. That's stupid. That's stupid, man. I say one thing seems to be an act like, like God is on their side. And then you say, oh, you think everything's an act of God. I never said that. You see how they really try to twist your words and discredit what you say? You see how they do that? Not very cunning, man. I think anyone with a brain can see through it and can see what you're trying to do. Hey, Joanne, how are you doing? Hey, Steven. Doing good. Yeah, and I don't choose my mods because 'cause they're MAGA. They ask me if they can be mods, and they probably only ask me if they can be my mods because they like me and agree with me. I think that most people who aren't MAGA hate MAGA, and because they hate America, they hate Americans, they don't want to make America great again. They want for our country to be run by illegal immigrants running scam centers disguised as hostels and child daycare centers and whatnot. They want that. They hate America and Americans. They hate it. They want communism. They have no idea what they're dealing with. Just look at Cuba and listen to the people of Cuba. They want actually most Cubans want America's help. They want for us to come and make a change there, throw down that tyrannical uh, dictator regime. They want for us to help. They want anything that's gonna put a stop to this madness. Nothing I'm saying is untrue. And just because you're offended doesn't make it untrue. I don't care if you're offended. I care more about truth. I'm not saying I'm always right or anything, but the proof is in the pudding. I'm not going to deny what I see with my own eyes. I know these people don't, if they see anything that goes against their convictions, they're just going to turn it off. Like children. Like if I were to turn on a Nick Shirley video and show them what's going on in California, they just complain, "Meh, meh, 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 no, that's not going on. Meh, 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 meh. You're racist. Meh, 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 meh." Stupid. Just stupid. And then they go home and watch CNN or MSNBC or whatever. No, you're okay, Jack. You have a good one, okay? I gotta go pretty soon anyway, because I gotta walk the neighbor's dogs. Yeah, the one thing and you see, I don't agree with everything Trump does. I wish he would do a better job with the Epstein files. I don't really know what's going on there, whether it's like national security, whether he's protecting his family. I don't know. But I know for a fact that he tried to expose Epstein and then they tried to blackmail him. That's what you'll find in the files regarding Trump, that they wanted to put an end to Trump because he was going to expose them. But of course, they're going to lie about that too. Dude, what? Yeah, if I irritate you, leave. Like this thing is these guys have nothing else to say other than insult, call names, uh say like what LOL, like that kind of thing. At best. It's ridiculous. They don't care about the truth. They only care about feelings. They don't care about Americans. They hate Americans. They don't, they'd rather have it so that a doctor who or brain surgeon who works his butt off saving people's lives makes the same amount of money as someone who scrubs toilets for a living. That's what they want. Now with these systems, all the money will go to the rich and powerful while we're down here eating each other like dogs, just like they have in Cuba right now. Yeah. Thanks, Jack. Chicken fight. Hey, Heather. How are you doing? Just so you know, guys, I'm going to be leaving in 10 minutes. Sorry, I'm leaving so soon after you got here, Heather. I have to walk the neighbor's dogs pretty soon. I have to get ready for that. Nice. What'd you eat, Heather? What do you have for foods? Daft. People can say whatever they fucking want. They're projecting, obviously. They're just projecting. No, I'm not. Definitely not. And of course, it's like coming from you guys, it means absolutely nothing. When you call us like racists, that means absolutely nothing because it's not true. You guys are the ones keeping that alive. You guys are the ones keeping racism alive. You know, uh, Forcing everyone to live in shame, thinking that they are racists when they're not. You have schools trying to embed that into young kids, trying to ingrain the idea that they're intrinsically racist. and to always be ashamed of the fact that they're white. That's sick. And not to mention the way you guys treat minorities is just pure racism. Kind of like the way similar to how Kamala was during her campaign. Like oh yeah, addressing black men, if you vote for me, you get all the free weed you want. Like wow. Wow. You know, Trump has done more for the black community than any other president ever. And the thing about Black Lives Matter, I agree with the idea behind it. But when you look more into it, you'll see that the higher ups take all the funding that was supposed to go to helping black people. All that went to the rich people starting this whole thing. It's a scam. They're scamming black people. They're scamming everybody else. They're scamming everybody. It has nothing to do with Black Lives Matter if you really look into it. And then they completely ignore or disregard or go, I can't hear you, over the very fact that Trump has done more for the black community than anybody else. Yeah, it was a real life Marxist group. It's a fine idea, but the group was dirty AF. Exactly. Exactly. And I think more and more people are realizing that. Absolutely. Absolutely. 100%. Like there'll be idiots, man. I mean, have you seen how some people talk to Osmongold? Like it's like he'll just be spitting pure facts, and then people will just blurt out like, "Oh, you're." I don't remember what they've said exactly, but it's always similar to the way people are talking to me here. Some people, not many. The majority of people agree with me. Hey, Ritu. Absolutely. You got your job back. Well, good for you, Tomothy. Awesome. That must feel really good, huh? Wowzers trousers. Okay. Oh yeah. Well, hello, Will. They called me a racist. My black friends disagreed, though. Yeah, I mean, absolutely, absolutely. I'll bet it makes them squirm when somebody tells them about all the minorities who voted for Trump. Huge portion of the Latino population, too. Absolutely. Thanks, Josh. Am I going to go live tomorrow? Yes, yes, I will. Absolutely. I've been here for a while. I've been polite, never insulted you, but one of your moderators just timed me out for pointing out a fact. You need to replace and vet several mods. They're filtering you. Um, what did you point out, man? I'm sorry, I must have missed it. Oh, I'm really, if that's the case, man, I'm really sorry about it, Circuit Bard. Would you mind reiterating what you were saying before that got you timed out? Because I don't get it. Don't say anything negative or rude or weird. Yeah, I mean, who I don't know, man. I don't know what happened. I feel really bad because I I don't know what you said. That Kilroy circuit board, that was me. Okay, Kilroy, what did they say? Do you know what they said? Or maybe they can tell me. People can disagree, man. I said Trump is in the files. Oh yeah, oh, brother. Yeah, now you're trying to, I know what you're doing. You're trying to indicate that he is a PDF file. When the only you know, there are tons of people in those files. That does not implement them in any crime. That does not mean they're guilty. Trump's in those files because they are discussing among themselves how they're going to end him, how they're going to blackmail him for trying to expose Epstein. They didn't want to be exposed. Trump was calling them out on their depravity before it was ever mainstream. Now, you're wrong about that. Okay. We don't need to be spreading that lie. That's what I think. Okay. That's your opinion. I get it. But you're wrong. I mean, he's in the files, sure. But I know what you're actually trying to say there. I know what you're actually trying to say. You're trying to tell everybody that he's one of them. Yeah, exactly. DiCaprio, Chris Rock. He met up with tons of rich people and socialites and artists, whatever. You know, that does not mean that they're all guilty of going to that island and taking advantage of children like Epstein was. Trump was the only one back when trying to do something about it, trying to expose them. And this is what he gets. The left doesn't care about what the Clintons are doing. They don't care. They don't care about Bill Gates, what he's doing. They don't care. They hate Trump's name and they want to bring him down. They're sore losers. They don't care what it takes to get rid of him. They'll do anything. They'll lie about him. It wouldn't matter if he saved a drowning baby. Trump made it so that like the crime of animal cruelty has bigger repercussions. You know, you're gonna go to jail or whatever now for abusing animals. Oh no, not a word out of the left concerning that. You know, the it's unreal. I didn't ever said I never cared about anything. Why are you twisting my words? This is why people go to my videos and write out a comment which clearly indicates that they didn't hear a damn word I said and that they're just hearing whatever they want to hear, selective hearing. Very selective hearing. You know, you believe whatever you want to hear. That's fine. That's fine. That's the way this world is. We're also so used to instant gratification and scrolling through doom scrolling whatever we feel like seeing. Everything now is just run by feelings and whatever we feel like doing or feel like seeing or feel like hearing. The actual truth doesn't seem to matter one iota to a lot of people, especially people on the left. Very emotional. Very emotional people, very run by their emotions. They don't care about the truth, a lot of them. Not saying that they're all like that, you know. I have some liberal friends who are pretty all right. But when I was liberal myself, I had conservative friends too, and I was never ever demonized, ostracized, called names by anyone on that side, by any conservative I knew, and I knew quite a few as well. Considering the fact that I, you know, lived in Portland at the time, it was amazing that I had that many conservative friends despite the fact that I was liberal. But maybe it's because they saw something in me which just screamed a young, naive person searching for truth. And then when I began to look into things and understand that so much of what they're saying about Trump is a lie, and I just look, you know, delve deeper and deeper into it, I'd watch like left wing content like Jubilee Middle Ground and realize that I can never agree with the left, even when they try to clip it left and right to make it seem like the right is wrong and the left is right. Oh, you know, they really try to make it look like the right's crazy when in fact it's their own side that looks crazy and sounds crazy. As soon as I began to real, you know, it was kind of happened fast. And then I realized that I'm going to lose family, I'm going to lose friends. People are going to be really harsh to me. Yeah, I did lose family and friends. I was ostracized by some people, and they slandered my name. They lied about me. They said whatever they told me I was a danger to my family, when in fact it's their side committing all most of the violence. Just it's unreal. It's unreal. Clear projecting, like everything they accuse us of is what they're doing. Like 100%. Hmm. The common problem with the conservative ideological perspective, they don't understand how anything works. Well, that's not true. Not true one bit. What, so you think we should have communism? Is that what? No, we see what's going on and we're commenting on it. We see what's going on in California, Minnesota, all the scamming, what's happening to the American people, how much we're being rejected and neglected. And the reason why they want so much illegal immigration is because that would expand their voter base. That would make it so all these people are obviously going to vote for people on the left. That's what they want. They don't care about Americans because they know most Americans are going to vote for Trump. Vote within for whatever's gonna help America. Yes, Cali is, yeah, they're in a lot of trouble for sure. For sure. I didn't fall. What the heck are you even talking about? So haven't any of you gotten the Trump phone that okay, I have no idea what you're talking about there, but whatever. Anyway, I'm gonna have to go pretty soon because I have to walk the neighbor's dogs. How about few more minutes here? People talk to a lot of conservative YouTubers and influencers like that. I've seen people talk to Osmond Gold like that, and I think that he's pretty on point over about a lot of things, most things. So I don't care what you have to say to me, I don't care. I don't care how much you try to defile and discredit me. I don't care. Could care less. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. They really try to gaslight. It's like we know what you're getting at. Yeah. Liberal logic never makes sense for me. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Jubilee is left wing. Yes, they are. They're a liberal leaning platform. What are you saying? They're not liberal because they give conservatives a voice too, even though they edit it significantly in favor of the left? But yeah, I've been on both sides. I was actually pretty staunch liberal at one point, or at least I thought I was. I was under the impression that it was the party of empathy at one point. I was under the impression that it was kind of the way we think of liberals from the 90s, but actually, it's the conservatives are more like liberals from the 90s these days, whereas liberals are just radical communists, a lot of them, whole lot of them. You have very few liberals who think kind of like Piers Morgan these days, where it's kind of like not black and white, not extremist. I don't agree with everything Piers Morgan says. I mean, Yeah, he said some things I don't agree with for sure. Same with Trump. He said things I don't agree with. That doesn't mean I don't support him as my president, and that doesn't mean I didn't vote for him because he's getting stuff done and he's doing a great job otherwise. Just wish that the Epstein files could be handled better, but I don't know all the ins and outs of that and what security threats there might be, and all that. Liberals and leftists are not the same. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, for sure. One's more radicalized and the other holds true to their original principles, right? You're getting glasses today, hopefully. If I were to get glasses, I definitely wouldn't want the big glasses. But maybe more square rims, I think. Rectangular rim. Let's see. Okay. People think that Jubilee is leaning towards the right simply because uh, when people watch this show, they tend to side with the right because no matter how much they try to chop it up, the right comes out seem looking more logical. Like there's nothing they can do like to uh, fight what's true. But they're speaking the truth, and it's like there's little you can do to chop that up, especially when um people on the left often throw in race when it has nothing to do with race, and often they do that kind of. Let's see. Yeah, it it aimed for a neutral middle ground approach. So let's see. Critics and viewers often debate its bias, with some arguing it has shifted from neutral or slightly left-leaning stance to one that highlights far right conservative viewpoints, particularly in its surrounded series. Oh yeah, the moment you give conservatives a voice and they start speaking truth and people agree with them, then they're going to start thinking, "Oh, it's right-leaning content." When in fact, they're originally their whole agenda, or at least their whole um, purpose was to favor left leaning, neutral to left, but more on the left. You know, it was more in favor of the left originally, and it still is, but maybe not. Maybe people who run that platform, maybe they're beginning to see the truth like a lot of people. Maybe they're beginning to understand what's going on, like a lot of people are. It's like, what was that guy? What's that guy's name? The guy who runs all the stats on CNN. He he shows us how well Trump is doing compared to other presidents, or compared to how he was doing his first year and all that. He just speaks the truth, but he's always showing us that Trump's favorability rate just rises, or it's better than other presidents at this period of time in his presidency, and it's on CNN. And the left is just like, "Oh my god, oh, shut up. Oh my gosh. Oh. It's hilarious seeing this guy go. I love him. What's this guy's name? Forget. I forget what his name is because I don't watch CNN. Hmm. Harry Enton. Harry Enton. He's cool. I like him. Yeah, CNN, EU, Communist News Network, exactly. Yeah. Trump has beat the record for the most assassination attempts. I know, and they just lose their marbles when they fail. I mean, they want this guy to get killed. Absolutely, absolutely. It ruffles their feathers when he doesn't actually catch the bullet in a fatal area. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, ruffles their feathers. Really ruffles their feathers, man. Thank you for becoming a member, Joe. I appreciate it. And it isn't just what the president is saying, it's what we're seeing all around us, especially in places like California, Minnesota, and New York. But that's what you guys, I mean, what the far left wants. That's what they want. They want communism. There's a singer called Ella Langley, and she's getting, oh, I've heard of her. I like her. And she's getting hate canceled because they say she followed Charlie Kirk and sent her death threats. But those are the ones that say they want peace and love. Exactly. Precisely. Exactly, man. Exactly. Hypocrites. Hypocrites, liars, and fools. Our prime minister is not doing the greatest of jobs, so I can't really complain about Trump. Oh, Trump's doing a great job, though. He's doing a great job. With most of it, I could criticize a few things, but he's doing making more progress within the first year than any other president we've had within my generation. I hope I catch you too, Jack. Okay, guys, I gotta go though. I gotta get ready to walk the neighbor's dogs, okay? Take care, guys. Thank you. Please subscribe. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you, Duncan. Thank you for joining Amethyst. I appreciate it, man. All right. Take care, guys. Just don't believe the lies you hear. Don't agree the lies you hear, Matt. He's doing a great job and he's actually helping people who are being oppressed by their government's regime. People want the people of Cuba want Trump. And the people of Iran want Trump's help, especially the women probably. Anyway, take care, okay? Bye-bye. Thank you.